Hi guys, and welcome back to more Making My Brother Play Otome games. This is the second attempt at recording this episode because we suck.
Technical difficulties.
Anyway, I'm Kaylin.
I'm Nathan.
And last time we started on Heisuke's route. We talked about Shinpachi and Harada, about him becoming a fury. And things are kind of changing up for the nation. And apparently we're wondering when the war is going to start, because it's obvious that it's inevitable now.
Yeah, this thing's gonna start. It's just a matter of when.
Yep. Continuing on. If one listened very carefully, it almost seemed as if one could hear the footsteps of war coming closer. Closer. Yes, just like... what?
Morning. What's with that look?
That was a much longer sentence in Japanese.
Yes.
I struggled desperately to regain my composure. Oh no, it's nothing. Morning? Did you just get up?
Yeah, just a few minutes ago. I guess it isn't really morning, huh? It's weird though, you know? I get sleepy just before the sun comes up, and then as soon as it's dark, I wake up.
His smile turned bitter for just the barest fraction of a second. Heisuke had been a fury for 2 months, which meant he'd been sleeping during the day. I hadn't been able to see him as much, and I was beginning to get a little lonely. How are you feeling? Any changes?
Nah, I feel normal. Like, really normal. And it doesn't feel like anything's changed. Honestly, Hijikata's the same hard-ass he always was, for instance. Shin and Sano keep saying they don't even know why I bothered coming back to life if I was just going to be as big an idiot as I'd been before. When I tell them to shut up, they just laugh.
What encouraging friends. I was pretty sure that was just their way of trying to tell him that he was still the same Heisuke he'd been before. When it looked like he might die, Harada and Nagakura were really worried. I had been too, of course, but that was neither here nor there. Besides, there are a lot of people who think you are dead, and they're really sad about it.
Oh, the guys from my unit, huh? Yeah. I wish I could tell them I'm actually still alive.
Officially, Heisuke was dead, and his funeral had been well attended. He was clearly missed. I found myself wondering, if I were to die, would my father mourn me? I'm sure your family's worried too. He frowned suddenly and looked at me for a moment before turning away. Had I said something I shouldn't have?
You know how when you came to Kyoto, you told us you were looking for your family? For Kodo, I mean.
Yeah? What about it?
Well, to tell the truth, I got a little jealous. I'm not really allowed to go look for my parents.
Not allowed?
Guess I might as well tell you.
Now that you're in Chapter 4, you've unlocked my tragic backstory, TM.
Have you ever heard of a place in Ise called the Todo Domain? Well, that's where I'm from.
Wait, then that would mean...
He was carried here by a tornado, along with Dorothy.
we're not in Ise anymore.
Yeah, my old man's the big guy. I don't know much about him, though. I'm just his bastard, I guess.
Until that moment, I hadn't realized that Heisuke had never told me anything about where he was from, or what his past had been like.
Anyway, he sends me some cash every month, so long as I don't go looking for him. Hush money, I guess.
So you were jealous because I was looking for my father? He laughed, but it was flat and without humor.
I was just an accident for him. So yeah, I don't think my parents would be sad to hear I died. Well, the old man will probably throw a party. He doesn't have to waste his money keeping some brat quiet anymore.
I felt I had to say something.
And
yes, your first choice,
yes.
Which can either, depending on the choices you make here, it'll either give you a good end or a bad end. And the bad ends usually end up with someone or both of you dying. But the good ends are somewhat happy.
But it doesn't matter what I choose, I'll get a bad end. Because that's the way things
I
go
don't know.
for me.
You might know how to play this. You might. I mean, all you have to do is think about how to play to Heisuke's personality type, and you'll be fine.
That's great if I knew what Heisuke's personality type was.
You mean all this time and you don't know him?
Nope. He's a random character that I really don't know that much about. Just saying. He's kind of... He's kind of a dolty tomboy, or not tomboy, what's the wrong word? I don't know. He's just kind of a goof.
He's kind of a goof, yeah.
He's a little immature. That's what I'm looking for. He's a little immature.
Yeah.
But you know that's not true. That's what I'll say.
You know that's not true. I don't know what kind of people Heisuke's parents might have been. They could have been good, or bad, or simply indifferent. But right then, I felt that they couldn't be completely unconcerned with whether or not he was dead. After all, they were his parents. Maybe their circumstances meant they couldn't be with you as they'd like, but I'm sure your parents loved you very much.
What kind of evidence do you have for that? I only just told you about them, and pretty much all I said was, they exist. Look, it's been a long time. I don't really need comforting, okay? Well, apparently that was the wrong choice.
I don't know if it was. He didn't seem angry, just apathetic. I shook my head. Well, you're still getting money every month, aren't you? That means whoever's sending it at least wants you to have enough money to be happy, right? If they didn't care whether or not you lived or died, then why send you money in the first place? The theory I'd formed was that his parents wanted to be with him, but couldn't. They knew money was a poor substitute for a family, but at least it was something. I think this is the right choice. I'm remembering this. It seemed reasonable. Yeah, there you go. Point.
Flowers.
Point. Suddenly smiling. He was quiet for a few minutes, but at last his face burst out in a grin and he laughed.
Man, people ever tell you you're way too optimistic? Oh, so great. I made a joke as far as he's concerned. That was funny to him. That's how I get a point.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think... What's so funny? Trying to be serious.
Nothing.
But he only laughed more. After I'd frowned at him for a while, his expression grew more somber, and the faraway look from before returned to his eyes.
Well, I guess if for some crazy reason you are right, then maybe there is someone out there who's sad I'm dead.
Oh, isn't that a nice thought? Then maybe someday you can tell them the truth. I'm sure they'd like that. Unless we all die before then. Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. Oh, ominous music. The new year had come and gone. It was the 3rd of January.
3rd of January.
3rd of January. Before we didn't have time to let the excitement of the new year soak in, war was upon us. One of the major routes from Osaka to Kyoto ran by the Fushimi Magistrate's office. A number of soldiers loyal to the shogun were traveling to Kyoto by that particular route one day, when they found themselves confronted by Satsuma soldiers. Fighting broke out, and before long, the battle had spread to the magistrate's office. The Satsuma had already set up their men on high ground, and spent most of the day raining cannon fire on the Shinsengumi and anyone else unfortunate enough to be in range.
Bummer.
Yikes.
That would be really bad.
As the light began to fade, the guns on the hill gradually fell silent, and it seemed that the day's battle was over. The men guarding the magistrate's office let out a great sigh of relief.
Those guys must have really sucked at firing cannons then.
Yeah, fire a cannon all day, and you still didn't knock buildings down? Like,
yeah.
Just didn't completely decimate the place?
You still alive, Sano? Barely. Really thought we were done for. Practically raining bullets and cannonballs for a while there. This must be about the era that, the movie The Last Samurai is from.
Yes. we don't talk about that movie,
I
but
know.
yes, this is the same era.
Bastards. They think they're so great just because they got the high ground. Guns are for chumps, alright? Real man uses a sword. I'm not gonna even...
Don't argue with Shinpachi.
Let's just pretend that rapid fire and range counts for everything.
He spoke for everyone there. The bombardment had gone on all day with no respite. Wow. And the vaunted skill of the Shinsengumi meant little if they couldn't get close enough to their enemies to strike with a sword. Nagakura and the rest had done their best to protect the magistrate's office, but they'd been forced into an entirely defensive battle and had little to show for it. What's going to happen now?
We've been at a disadvantage thus far, but now that night has fallen, we can turn the tables. Their guns will be difficult to aim in the dark. We cannot afford to miss this chance. We must counterattack. Saito's right.
Hijikata, what were our losses today? Even Hijikata was having trouble hiding how tired he was. He shook his head slowly and sighed.
Bad. If we screw this up tonight, we might as well just surrender tomorrow. Then it's finally time to take the fight to them. We aren't cut out for this defensive shit. To the front lines!
Gung-ho.
I agree. If these gun battles continue, our position will only deteriorate. Our biggest problem is just going to be getting together enough men. A lot of my guys are out of commission. Yeah. Man, I sure wish we had Kondo or Suji right now. I know. You just love how I can't pronounce Japanese names. Quit your snickering.
Glad I can still enjoy the little things. Yeah. Kondo had been shot before the new year and had gone to Osaka to recover under Dr. Matsumoto's care along with Okita, who is currently dying of tuberculosis at the moment.
Dying of tuberculosis?
You know, like you do. He was doing much better, but he was still in no condition to fight. Kondo was doing much better. Okita's getting worse.
Yeah. Guess we'll have to use the Fury Core. They should still be fresh. I'm sure Kondo would have done the same... Kondo. I'm sure Kondo would have done the same thing. The Fury Core?
That means you.
That means you.
He looked surprised.
Why so surprised, Toto? At last, we've been given our chance to shine. Oh, yeah. I guess we have, huh?
There was something strange in his voice. Is something wrong?
Oh no, I just hadn't really thought about how I'm a part of the Fury Corps. I mean, I know I am. I guess it just hadn't really hit me yet. Well, time to make up for all that sleeping during the day.
Well then.
Awesome. Way to go, Heisuke. Let's go get ready for...
Ah! The roar of a cannon interrupted Nagakura, and the room immediately fell silent. And the music changed too.
Are they here already?
We looked to our feet at the sound of a second report that was followed almost immediately by the crack of splintering wood. I clapped my hands over my ears instinctively, and when I pulled them away, Hijikata was already issuing orders.
Sounds like they've got us surrounded. Damn it. Alright, let's move. We gotta push them back.
Bum bum bum. Just as Hijikata had guessed, Satsuma troops had surrounded the magistrate's office. The cannon had been used to blow the gate open, and the soldiers were already streaming through the breach.
So they decided to come pay us a visit, huh? Well, that suits me fine. Now I don't have to walk my ass out there.
He grinned and set off for the gate with a handful of other men. Sanan drew his own sword and looked over at Heisuke.
Well, let's get going, Toto. Time to show those Imperial fools why they should learn to fear the fall of night.
His smile sent a cold shiver down my spine. I felt bad for being suspicious of him, but Sanan had changed. The man I'd met long ago was someone I would have trusted with Heisuke, but Sanan the Fury was scary. And he only gets scarier.
Hold on, Sanan. We're short on men. Think you can leave Heisuke here?
Huh.
What? Heisuke, I want you to keep an eye on Naomi here, alright?
Gotcha. Had he guessed somehow? Harada caught my eye and grinned, then grabbed his spear and ran off after Nakakura. Sana watched him go, then shrugged.
Suppose it doesn't much matter what you do. I mean, look around us. Front line is everywhere.
He looks way too happy about that. He drove his sword through a nearby Satsuma soldier in one lightning-fast strike, laughed, and ran toward the gate. The Fury Corps followed behind him, yelling battle cries. He looked like death. I shivered.
Stay close. I'll keep you safe, but you have to stick with me.
And that was all he had time to say before the battle was upon us. Blood and bullets fell like rain, and all around us were the cries of the wounded and dying. I felt like I was going to throw up.
Damn it! They just keep coming! You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay? The battle had been going on for some time, and he'd been hit by both guns and swords in several places.
Don't worry about me.
He's a fury now, he'll be fine. Blood still leaked from his wounds, but the flow was quickly lessening. His wounds were closing themselves.
I'm not human anymore, remember? This kind of stuff isn't enough to kill me.
What? Then something happened. I wasn't even sure what, only that for a second, something wasn't right. Even the soldiers we were fighting paused for a fraction of a second, as if they weren't sure what they'd just seen was real or an illusion.
Bang.
Bang! Another bullet tore through his shoulder. I reached out to staunch the flow of blood, but before I could, the wound closed. Heisuke's glance lingered momentarily on his now-healed wound, and for a moment I saw sadness in his eyes.
I told you, it doesn't hurt me! Go away!
Get out of here! Ah! It happened again, and this time I saw it. For a moment, his hair was white. We already know this happens. Whenever a bullet or blade hit him, I saw a look of sadness flicker in Heisuke's eyes as he watched his supernatural body mend itself. Why then was a grin beginning to stretch its way across his face?
Is that all of them?
His grin reminded me of the grotesque smile I'd seen on the face of the Fury mad for blood. I felt terror rise like fire in my breast, and before I knew it, I was crying out. Heisuke, that's enough. Let's go back now.
What are you talking about? There's still more, right? Where's the next one? Where's the blood?
Oh no. Oh! There could be no doubt about it now. His hair was white as snow, and his eyes shone with a hideous thirst for blood. Exclamation point! Heisuke pulled his sword from the stomach of the last Satsuma soldier with a wet, sickening sound. He lifted his hand, covered in gore to his face, and stretched out his tongue. No, Heisuke, you can't! I threw my arms around him and tried desperately to pull his arm down and away.
What are you doing?
He sounds like he's drunk. It was a stupid thing to do, and I knew it. I knew quite well just how dangerous and uncontrollable Furies could be. But I couldn't bring myself to believe that Heisuke could be like that. I cursed myself for not trying to stop him sooner. It's alright now. There's no one left for you to fight. At first he looked at me with anger written plain across his face. Fury said I had tried to restrain him, but then his eyes caught on the blood covering his hands and sword.
What did I...
The white suddenly left his hair, and the hand holding his sword fell to his side. He took one wavering step, then another. When he turned back to look at me, his face was twisted with grief, fear, and most of all, despair. There should be another comment there. Sorry.
By the way, there is a Chicago Manual of Style currently sitting to my left as we are playing this.
Because I need it. It's part of my job.
So if there is typos in this, if anybody's going to find them...
Shh, they should have hired me to edit this game.
Yeah. I don't think I can take this anymore. What? I feel like I'll get a little bit less human every day. It's freaking me out.
It's freaking me out, man.
And I want to drink blood all the time. It's driving me crazy.
He looked small, frightened, and sad. It's gonna be okay, Heisuke. You're gonna be fine. You're still human. Ish.
No, I'm... Evening looks like morning to me. The moon's the sun. I'm covered in blood and it feels good. Of course it does, Toto. That's how it should be. Trust your instincts.
Sonnen? Dead men littered the ground, but Sonnen stepped over them with no more concern than he would have afforded stone. He held out his hand to Heisuke and beckoned.
There's no reason to hold back. If you desire blood, then you should drink it. How else can you quench your thirst?
Stop it, Sonnen. You're going to confuse him.
Confuse? No, I don't think so. What I'm suggesting is only natural. If your body needs blood to survive, then why shouldn't you oblige it? Telling a Fury not to drink blood is like telling a human not to eat. Are you saying you'd rather he starve to death?
Well,
We aren't human anymore. We're Furies. I can understand the pain he feels in a way you never will. In a sense, Heisuke and I are brothers, you might say.
He was right. As a Fury, he would know what Heisuke was going through far better than I could. ... With no real rebuttal, I hung my head in silence. I still felt that he was wrong, but I had nothing to say.
Sorry, Sanan, but she understands quite a bit. More than you, I think.
Heisuke. The pain he was feeling had brought him to his knees, but he looked up at Sonnen and me with a grin.
Don't worry, okay? I'm not gonna drink blood. That's not something a human would do, right? You still consider yourself human? A shame. You aren't. Blinding yourself to human morals and values is foolish. But I too was once where you are now. I understand what you feel. If you are determined to refrain from blood, here.
What's this? Opium?
A medicine Dr. Matsumoto made for us. It can suppress the bloodlust.
I paused for a moment. Could such a thing really exist? But a muffled groan of pain from Heisuke brought me back to my senses. If it could help him, there was nothing to contemplate. Thank you, Sonnen.
I'm hardly doing him a favor. This is a temporary measure at best. In the end, it will likely only prolong his suffering. Fury's pain will never truly depart until he drinks blood.
Then he turned and walked off, but I had better things to do than watch him go. Heisuke's hair had turned white again, and his eyes were now deep red. He moaned in pain. I had to do something to help him. Oh, so I'm gonna stick savior. I'm just gonna tell you, because it's kind of hard to tell unless you've played the game before, unless you keep an eye on the status menu, what these choices actually do for you. And basically, there's two bars. You have your affection bar and your corruption bar, for your Fury boyfriend. And so, your corruption bar is gonna go up.
You know how many times you want to sit here and click this?
Yeah, okay. Thanks. That really helps. Your corruption bar is gonna go up if you don't give him blood. And so, if your corruption bar goes up, you're gonna end up with a bad ending. So the safe bet to do is just to let him drink your blood each time. Even though you would think that, given what we just learned, that that would be a bad idea. It's actually a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah. And since you're a demon, you'll be fine.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm just making him tough it out being hands.
Tough it out, kid.
Fine.
Sonnen had been right about one thing. I couldn't possibly understand the pain Heisuke was feeling. I wasn't a Fury. All I could do was watch him suffer. No, I could do more than that. My path was clear. You said you wouldn't drink blood, but I'm sorry, Heisuke.
What are you...
The pain was so great he could barely speak. I didn't respond. Instead, I drew my kodachi and slid the blade across my arm.
What the hell are you doing?
Someone said something to me a while ago. Like, just a second ago. Oh wait, no, okay. This was a while ago. He said that my blood, my demon blood, might be able to suppress the fury bloodlust. It doesn't actually, but...
I've heard that too, but nobody knows if it's really true. I can't let you do this.
And I can't bear to watch you suffer any longer. If you had to drink blood to live, then I wanted it to be my blood. My arm shook as I held it out to him. Please, I'm always being protected. Just once I want to help someone. The blood dripped from my arm like thick red tears. For a long moment, Heisuke simply stared at it. Then finally he nodded.
I feel like a real jerk doing this, but... Thanks, Naomi.
We fought as best we could, but it wasn't enough. Before long, the magistrate's office was in flames, and we were forced to retreat. Even that was nearly a failure as well. The Imperial Army's weapons were far more advanced than anything we'd seen before. We didn't know how to counter them.
The encyclopedia has been updated.
Our retreat degenerated into chaos, and Heisuke and I found ourselves separated from the rest of the Shinsengumi.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
We're alone.
Oh, there was no way for us to know who else might have survived, but we both knew where those who had would go. Wow, that's confusing. Anyway, we know where those survivors would go. To Osaka Castle. Yoshinobu was there, as was Kondo. What other destination could there be?
Unless you're cut off from getting there.
Heisuke and I chose to go through the forest and thereby avoid the Imperial Army. But it was January, and the forest was dark and cold. The black, frozen trees surrounded us, and before long I began to feel as if they were bars of a cage that had been suddenly closed around us.
And
yikes.
Personally, being in January right now,
yeah,
I can attest to what it feels like trying to trek through the cold.
Freezing. At least they don't have snow in this area of Japan, but still.
Yeah.
Still cold.
Some days I'd prefer a little snow over the cold weather we get someday. Are you doing alright? I know it's kind of rough getting through here, but it's gonna be a lot worse if they catch us.
I'm fine, really. Are you okay?
Of course I'm okay. I'm a city boy at heart, but the forest isn't so...
No, I mean, your fury thing. The whole,
Fury thing.
That. He's been taken by the bloodlust during the battle at the magistrate's office, but since then he'd seemed fine. Still, there's no guarantee that it wouldn't happen again. In fact, it was very likely that it would, and that worried me. He must have felt my eyes on him because he sighed and lowered his sword from hacking away at the underbrush.
I don't want blood. I was just thinking about Sanan.
Sanan? He'd become a Fury long before Heisuke, so he'd been dealing with the bloodlust much longer. How was he coping with it? Heisuke turned and looked at me, and I could see that the very same thoughts were going through his head. He leaned closer to me and spoke in a whisper, as if he were afraid someone might be listening in.
I think Sanan's been drinking blood. I think that on nights he goes out on patrol with the Fury Corps, he drinks blood from the men they kill.
What? Don't you think it's a little far-fetched?
Well, you remember all those times the Fury Corps got in a fight, and afterwards the bodies of the men they killed had way more sword cuts than they should have? I think that was them trying to cover up what they were doing.
Oh no. There was no denying that his argument made sense.
I'm a Fury. Nobody was there to stop me. There's a good chance I'd end up doing the same thing too.
He looked at me with a sad smile.
I remember what it felt like in Aburano Koji.
Yeah.
My chest hurt, and I could hardly breathe. everything looked kind of dark. I wasn't thinking you can't die until you see justice done, or anything like that when I drank the water of life. Truth is, I was just scared. I didn't want to die.
The wind whipped his hair across his face, hiding it. I kept silent. Whatever his reason was for telling me all this, it probably wasn't to get me to give him advice.
So I became a fury so I could live. And now I'm wishing I'd never done that. What the hell's wrong with me? Ah, the curse of immortality.
He laughed again, but it was easily the saddest sound I'd ever heard.
I feel like this is just like when I left the Shinsengumi to go with Ito. I made my own choice then too, but I regretted it pretty much right away. I missed my friends. And we are out of time.
We're out of time. Yeah, we should probably end here. I don't quite remember what happens next, but I don't think this is a very emotional moment. I don't think the scene ends anytime like super soon, so we should probably just end it here and continue on in the next episode.
The emotional scenes never end soon.
No, of course not.
You can take 15 minutes being emotional.
Yeah.
I've watched animes before where you can spend an entire episode
on a character's backstory.
On one character's backstory
and being emotional. Yeah. That's how these things go.
Alright. So, until next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.